Hello friends, this is Orna again, and this time I would like to talk to you about your enthusiasm and joy of life. But first I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get updates every time I upload a new teaching. Now, the issue of enthusiasm and joy. It may seem quite ordinary to some of you, but without this fire, which motivates action and change, it is very difficult to pick ourselves up and do anything with ourselves. I've met quite a few people who believe that there is nothing new under the sun, that they have already heard and seen everything, that life is a big boredom and they have no motivation to do anything significant with themselves. It is definitely easy to understand people who feel this way. Life is abrasive, work is strenuous, we're absorbed in worries and troubles, struggles and disappointments. Fatigue causes many of us to reduce ourselves, to engage only in things that we need for our day-to-day survival. This causes us to sink into the thickness of matter, as the Kabbalah calls it. Now, what is the problem with sinking into matter? When we are immersed in survival, what drives us really is reason and logic. We only do what is necessary and what is required of us in everyday life. And this way, we focus on only a small part of what we are, of our entire being. We're actually much more than our minds. When we experience life through logic alone, all the other parts that compose who we are not manifested. Is focusing on practical thinking will be able to get you elated and enthusiastic? Think about it. There is another reason for losing enthusiasm in life, which has to do with what drives us. Is it fear or love? What is the factor that drives you? Give it a thought again. When we are driven by fear of failing, of being punished, or getting in trouble, we're actually following the dictates of the ego, because our ego protects us here in the material world. The problem is that the ego has a very narrow worldview that limits our human experience in the world. Fear makes us lose the joy of our life and dims the eternal light that shines upon us. And then we fall into a state of reduction. It's called in Hebrew tzimtzum. The rewards that we receive for our efforts are limited, and we cannot enjoy abundance and bliss. Now, when we only do what we must and put aside all the rest, we act out of fear. In such cases, feelings of emptiness and boredom take over. We feel lack of fulfillment at work or even in our personal relationships, pointlessness, inability to enjoy the present moment, or to find the joy in our actions. All of these cause our enthusiasm to fade away. We expect something extraordinary to happen suddenly to reignite us. But what happens when we act out of love? Then we let our soul manifest, and it lifts us up from out of the grime of life. When we do things because we love to do them, our enthusiasm comes from within, and then our joy and passion are authentic. Our soul represents our inner truth. It is the factor that connects us to the broader and higher spiritual dimensions beyond our material existence. And it speaks to us through our emotions. We get the passion for life through the heart and the emotions, not necessarily through the mind and logic. The soul can be nourished when we do things that are beyond our survival needs. Through engaging in social activities with people we love, when we make a significant personal contribution, when we dedicate ourselves to creative work, entertainment, play, heart-to-heart conversations, and everything we do because we simply want to. All these activities feed our emotions and thoughts. For those of you who are immersed in day-to-day survival, all of these ideas may seem probably a waste of time, but without them, we may become spiritually dehydrated. It is a very interesting term, but it happens. And then everything we do, even if it's actually necessary for our survival, are very, very difficult to complete. So it makes sense to consistently engage in things that are spiritually fulfilling to keep us inspired and happy. Since I've been working with the 72 Names of God for many years now, I've been implementing the letter combinations to improve various situations in my life. Now, when we feel lack of self-fulfillment, fading enthusiasm, and joy of life, it is recommended to meditate with the letter combination Ayin Mem-Mem from the 72 Names of God, in order to draw enthusiasm that comes from the root of the soul. This letter combination appears right here in the table, and we meditate with it in order to inscribe it into our body and mind. Now, the 72 Names of God are powerful spiritual tools which are actually channels of communication, some kinds of pipes that deliver light and abundance from the upper spiritual worlds into the material world in which we live. Each one of these letter combinations has a unique and precise energetic vibration. It is like a spiritual code that opens a channel that sheds light on a certain area of our lives. We utilize the powers of the letter combinations by inscribing them in the body and mind through meditation and visualization. And this way, they generate changes in our energy field and eventually in our consciousness. We can create a whole new experience in this world by changing our consciousness. If you want to learn more about the origin and essence of the 72 Names of God, I invite you to watch the videos that I posted on my YouTube channel right here, and I'm adding the links to these videos right under this video. These videos also contain different meditation techniques. And there's a little tip for you if you are not speaking, reading, or writing Hebrew. When you come to meditate with the letter combinations, you actually meditate with the shapes of the letters. So if you are not used to Hebrew, I suggest that every time before you meditate, you just write the letter combination a few times until you get used to the shapes of the letters. You just simplify the letters like this. Ayin, Mem, Mem. You write from right to left, of course. And again, Ayin, Mem, Mem. So you should write the letters a few times on a piece of paper until you memorize them, just like you memorize symbols. That's a little tip that is very helpful. Now, if you want to learn more about the 72 Names of God and how to implement them in your life, I recommend my book, 72 Sessions with the Soul. In the book, you will learn a lot about the 72 Names of God, the backgrounds. There's a large body of information that I collected over the years about the 72 names and about each one of the letter combinations. And the book is used for spiritual work, for personal rectification. and and if you use it to create change in your consciousness. The book also contains several meditation techniques. So if you're interested in the book, I'm adding the link to the book right under this video. And I remind you again that if you want to be updated with new teachings, just subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you very much for being here with me today. And I'll see you next time.